everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tamara, and if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you've been here before, welcome back. I like to talk about crime stories from the Caribbean, both solved and unsolved. So if that's what you're into, then you're definitely in the right place. So go ahead, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more crime stories. I also want to say thank you everyone for watching so far and for also subscribing. I realize I've gotten like 50 subscribers. I know it's not a lot. It's like bare minimum, if at least anything. But when I started the channel, I did not think that people would watch. I started the channel. Well, I had the channel. I didn't upload any video for about a year because I was scared, and I did not think anybody would be interested in what I have to say. So after contemplating, went back and forth if I really want to do it or not, I decided, what the heck, let's just go and talk to the camera and talk about crime stories, because I love crime stories, and if one person finds it interesting, then me and that one person would go with it. But I've gotten more than one person to watch. My goal was to reach 50 subscribers, and then 100, and then 150. I guess I keep adding on 50 and 50 until I get to like a lot. Thank you, and continue watching, and I hope you continue to enjoy listening to me talk about crime stories while I sip, of course, can't forget the wine. So let's get right into this crime story. It's about Dwayne Jones from Jamaica. And Dwayne, as you can see in this picture right here, he was a very vivacious and fun. He just loved life and loved dancing. He wanted to be a performer like Lady Gaga. So he would take his dance move all over Jamaica, and they would win him competitions, and it earned him the name Gully Queen. Dwayne lived with his father, and he was not accepted by his family, and he was also bullied at school because he had feminine traits. Like, he was acting more feminine than a male, and that was not accepted by his father. His father kicked him out of the house when he was 14 years old. Ran out of the neighborhood. His father encouraged other neighbors to run him out of the village and basically kick him out on the street. So Dwayne had nowhere to go. So he was on the streets of Jamaica and living by himself, sleeping on the beaches, in the bushes, at the age of 14, until he was taken in by two friends of his that he met called Chloe and Kiki. Now, they were males, but they were transgender males. They found a house, an abandoned house. So they began squatting in the house, and they made the house their home. They made it comfortable, and they were there living. And I guess Dwayne was feeling comfortable there now because he was in a place where he was accepted. But on July 21st, 2013, 16-year-old Dwayne, he went with his friends, Chloe and Kiki, to a night party. This one was called Hennessy Sundays. So they got dressed, and remember, Kiki and Chloe, they are transgender, and Dwayne, he also dressed like a female, but he was not used to dressing like a female in the public. I guess he would do it at home in front of his mirror. But this time he decided that he wanted to go out in public and present himself as female. So they got to the party around 2 a.m. in the morning, and Dwayne, as usual, he was the life of the party. He stepped in and he put down his dance moves, and all the guys were looking. He got the attention from everyone that was there with his dance move, and I guess also with his looks. They were looking at him. I guess they were sleeping him. And Dwayne was he was the it guy or the it girl in the party. Guys were dancing with him. They were flirting with him. And Dwayne was just having a good time and being himself. And he felt very comfortable in his body, that he felt safe enough to share his secret with a friend that he met, who he knew from church. So Dwayne told this friend that, this is the first time that I am stepping out as a female but I am really a male. But this is the first time I'm coming out as a female and being a female and dressing like a female in public. She took that secret and she went and told her male friends who were at the party, and the secret spread around the party like wildfire. Like everybody started gossiping and everybody started talking about this guy who looked like a female but was really a male. And it angered a lot of the men that were there. Because remember, Dwayne was dancing and flirting and having such a good time with these men, but he was really a male, but they did not know that he was a male. They thought that he was a female. Angered some of the men because they're straight men, and they felt ashamed and embarrassed that how could I be dancing with this guy and not know. So they found Dwayne and they began questioning him like, are you a female? Are you a male? Like, what are you? Are you a female? Are you a male? We want to know. They flashed their light in his face. They're like, females don't have such big feet. Females don't have such strong jawline. They were really grilling him. But you know what Dwayne did? Dwayne stood his ground, and Dwayne decided to stick to his guts, and he decided that he was gonna stand up and he was gonna proclaim that he was female. And I guess in a sense that was his moment of coming out and standing up against bullies who were not accepting of him when he was 14 years old, his family and all his friends at school. And he did nothing back then. And I guess this time it was his time to stand up and say, yeah, I am female. And the crowd was gathering around him. They were getting more angry. What if Dwayne had said he was a male? Then what? Would they just have let him go and forget about it? Probably not. Chloe, who was with Dwayne, she was realizing that the situation is getting out of control, and the best thing for them to do was to get out of the area, to get away from the angry mob. So she was trying to steer Dwayne away from the crowd. So she was like, Dwayne, just let's walk away. Just let's go away from this crowd. But Dwayne remained adamant, and he was just not having it. He kept telling them, yeah, I am a female, until one of the persons in the crowd, they pulled on his top, his bra strap, and that triggered a fright in Dwayne, because now if they're tugging on him, his garment could get loose, and they could really realize now that he's not a female. So Dwayne began to run, and the crowd ran after him, and they caught up with Dwayne and began beating him like crazy. They kicked him, they punched him, stabbed him. They just went off on Dwayne. I guess all the anger that was inside, but they just went off on Dwayne, and then they left him right there, hanging on for their life. Until eventually somebody ran a car over him and ended his life. While all this is happening, everyone is just standing around looking, and nobody is trying to help him. Nobody is trying to stop what was happening. No one called the police. Nothing happened. And I'm thinking, like, why everybody just stood there? But I guess people were afraid for their life, because if you stop what was happening and try to defend the person, it may seem as though you're defending or you're supporting what they're doing, which was pretending to be a female and really that they were a male, or in a sense that he was gay. So that means you're in support of homosexuality. And then you may ask, where were his friends Chloe and Kiki? But remember, Chloe was the one that was trying to steer him away. And so they ran away because they were in fear of their lives, because they thought that the same thing that's happening to Dwayne would happen to them as well, if persons found out that they were there dressed as female but they were really males too. So they ran, and Chloe almost got attacked and almost raped. She had to seek shelter in a church and then in the woods or in the bushes until it was safe for her to leave and to get to her home. So now the police arrive at the scene around 5 a.m. in the morning, and they found Dwayne's body dumped in the bushes. The police invited Dwayne's family to come and contact them to find out information and to take his body, but the family refused. They did not want anything to do with Dwayne while he was alive, and they still did not want anything to do with Dwayne in his death. It's just sad. That's very, very sad that he was so young. He was disregarded by his family while he was alive, and even while he is dead, they had no sympathy for him. They had no love for him. They just didn't claim him. They just didn't want to be associated with Dwayne. Now, and you would think that his father especially would feel some sort of remorse that maybe if he did not throw Dwayne out of the house at such a young age, at 14 years old, and put him out on the streets, that Dwayne would have probably had a better chance at life, and he probably would have still been alive. But I guess his father didn't think of it like that. He didn't feel any remorse or anything to at least say, I messed up while he was alive, so let me go and claim his body and give him a proper burial and be there for him in his death. On August 14th, police announced that they have collected 14 statements and that the investigations, that it was in progress and things were ongoing, and that they were trying to find the persons who murdered Dwayne Jones. So they collected 14 statements, but no one was arrested and no one was charged. Out of the 300 partygoers that were there that night, nobody saw anything, nobody said anything, and no one can pinpoint who was involved in killing Dwayne. In October 2014, a group of men set fire to the home where Dwayne squatted with Chloe and Kiki, and forcing them to flee, and left them homeless without anywhere to go on the streets, which is very unsafe for persons who are transgender or homosexual in Jamaica. It was clear that it was a hate crime, and it was requested for police to provide them with some sort of protection. But guess what? The police refused to do so. Now, Dwayne's death was headline news all across Jamaica. It also made international news, and the opinions were very different. Some condemned the killing, and they were saying that it's time for violence across Jamaica to be dealt with, and that persons have to learn to be more tolerant of persons who are indifferent. There are those who said that Dwayne caused his own death, and that Dwayne was responsible for what happened to him because he knew that he was not a female and went to a party and danced with men that were straight. And he knew that that was not acceptable and that it would anger persons, especially men who were at the party. Dwayne's case still remains unsolved up to this day, and it's quite known across Jamaica that police tend to drag their feet when it comes to crimes against homosexuals. But a charity named Dwayne's House was set in his memory, and it was set to help homeless youths in Jamaica who identify as LGBTQ. And I really do hope that this charity, they provide some sense of safety for persons like Dwayne who may be a transgender or who may feel that they don't fit in, probably at home or at school, and it would just give them a safe place to be and a safe place to go that they can be themselves. So that was the end of today's crime story. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that Dwayne caused his own death, or do you think that his death could have been prevented? What do you think? So we'll discuss it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.